Hello again, and I'm so happy to see you back on my channel. And today I'm going to try to answer one particular request. A member here asked the question, how much would the Studer improve from being connected to such an inexpensive tube head preamp stage? And that's a very legitimate question because previously we compared other machines, specifically it was a A810 connected to that particular head preamp. But obviously between the TIAC and Studer, there are many differences there. The mechanisms are very, very different. The heads are very different, and the way you connect your preamp to the head is also very different. So the question on how would the Studer possibly benefit from this type of connection or change is a very valid one, especially considering again the price points of those machines. Like I said before, this particular Studer that you see on the left is a very special machine. It's very near mint condition, and the price tag is upwards of $10,000. So the question, can you possibly improve that machine by connecting it to a $250 external box, is very legitimate one, and it could be shocking because of that substantial price difference. So if you compare the previously tested machine, which was the TIAC 25-2 versus the Studer A810, there is a huge difference in functionality. Those machines represent different generations of tape machine development. The TIAC is very simple in its operation, although it gets logic control, which is nice, which is very different from the very old machines. But still it lacks many features of the Studer, including the tape tension, although TIAC has some form of it, a very rudimental one. But Studer is much more advanced in the way it handles the tape. It's also got some additional features, such as variable speed rewind, which I like very much myself. I think it has 3 or 4 different speeds for the rewind, and I do really appreciate that. It's got very convenient tape counter. It's a digital counter as opposed to a mechanical one on the TIAC. And just in general, the machine exhibits much higher grade of tape handling and just operation. Let's not forget that. But still the question is, okay, so we like the result of the tube tape preamp connected to the TIAC. Are we gonna like it when connected to such a pricey and advanced machine? Well, part of the answer to this question rests with the heads used in each unit. You can pretty much make the case that the heads are perhaps one of the most important components determining the sound quality. And if you ask 10 aficionados, they will tell you that Studer heads are superb. They're definitely among the best out there, and those people will be right. You already know, I think you might know, if you watched my previous videos, my reservations about the butterfly heads, so popular with Studer machines. I basically don't like them. I think they are detrimental to the sound. But be it as it may, today we have 2 machines with identical heads. And the degree of wear between those two heads is very, very comparable. It's very, very moderate amount of head wear. So yes, in my view, that particular setup might not be ideal, but it is what it is. That's what we're going to be playing with now, today. And again, the most important consideration here that the machine on the left and the machine on the right, they both have identical heads. So in some way, it is a very, very valid comparison. The only difference will be the machine on the left will be playing through its internal electronics. And Studer Electronics is advanced in many ways. I really wish they'd have taken a slightly different turn, but be it as it may, it was designed by very, very competent engineers. And the machine on the right has been modified to provide direct output for its tape heads. Tape head, in this case, it's just a playback head, of course. It gave me some trouble when I started setting up this particular configuration. This machine on the right gave me a lot of trouble. It just would not run. And it took me a while to figure out what was the problem, and it turned out that the microprocessor control card had probably some oxidation on the integrated circuit pins, and it went simply berserk. Eventually I was able to clean those pins, and the machine is working fine now. Hopefully it will continue working fine through today's test. And then I had some issue with the way I connected the external head preamp to this machine. Right out of the box, it did not work, and I will spare you some technical details, but basically the bottom line is, in order to make this connection perfectly quiet and perfectly sounding, I had to remove the internal reproduced cards from that machine. Here are those cards. If I put them in, I start getting ground loops and whatnot. I start getting noise. But since I'm not going to be using those cards anyway, it makes sense to remove them and keep the signal path clean. So that's what you're going to be listening to today. As always is the case in such comparisons, the outputs of those machines, since they are substantially different, have been calibrated to be the same with a particular volume control setting on my preamp. So with that type of adjustment, the levels will be well within 1/2 of dB, actually less than that. I will be physically moving the interconnects from one system to another when we start shifting the playback around. Today we are going to be listening to a very fine recording that I use sometimes for my reference purposes. It is, as I said, a very, very high quality recording. I think it's available on the market today. So this is pretty much all I have to say in the way of introduction. And now we're going to play music first on the left machine and then on the right machine. This particular piece is about 5 minutes long, so I will play it each time in its entirety. And here we have the first contender, the Studer A810 on the left, the one on the left playing through its internal electronics. And as before, I'm using this very nice, very convenient remote control. It performs most of the basic operations of the deck. No, it doesn't have the advanced features, But basically, it's very, very convenient if you just would like to control it sitting in an armchair without getting up and going to the machine. So with this all said, let's play some music. Well, I have to say that was a very good sound. So perhaps I should reconsider my reservations about the Studers, and maybe I should start using them in more regular way. And now let me switch the tape to the unit number 2 and we'll play the same piece there. Okay, so now the tape has been moved to the unit number 2, the one with Marantz 7 based tube head preamp. The volumes have been adjusted properly, so off we go. Wow, I did not expect that. So please let me know your opinion. I think there was a sizable difference in sound quality between the two machines, and let me know what did you feel. And as always, please ask your questions and put forward any request you might have. I cannot guarantee that I will fulfill every request. Like there is one particular request I saw recently. I simply don't have time and resources and effort and strength to do that. So sorry about that. I have some limitations too. But within those limitations, I hope you enjoy this little video and let me know what you think. And with that, please stay well. My best wishes to your family this Jewish New Year and to all of you. Thank you very much for coming. Goodbye.